All right, as we continue to swim through the garbage that is this world, and it truly is garbage, this headline caught my eye, and it's going to be based on something that I will continue to bring up. I have been bringing up, I will continue to bring up because it frustrates the shit out of a leftist like me. So the headline is, there's a rising wave of authoritarianism sweeping the globe, and Obama said it, right? And even in, the pause in the video, it says norms have been weakened deliberately. My issue with Democrats is that they continue, it feels like, to choose to speak about what they're against rather than what they're for all the time. And they wonder why they continue to fail. People reject the status quo. They have. Me and you have talked about this for like a decade now. And to continue to just coast off of when Republicans are in power, they're an absolute disaster, which they are, so we'll just get seats, and never sell a vision that uses government in a more deliberate way to make regular people's lives better, is going to continue to fail. There's not going to be some long-term like progress and gains in society made just because you were like, I'm not standing for anything, but I'm against that. Like, that shit is so annoying to me. And it just, this headline again, I feel like I read a headline, like, I can't even, like, just often, that just triggers me, where I'm just like, you guys got to somehow figure out how to get the narrative to be based on what you're selling and how it's going to help the average person, the working person, and stop just being like, well, you know, this bad, Trump bad, this bad. You know, it's just like, we get it, you know? Any thoughts off the top of your dome? Shit just annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm pretty sure it's like less than half of eligible voters show up to the polls ever, right?
True.
So basically,
well,
what you're sort of alluding
presidential
to,
usually like 60%, but go ahead. 60%
still
still bad.
Sure, an aggressive amount, right?
Yeah, that's
so
bad.
Sometimes the messaging of "Hey, we're not Donald Trump" doesn't bring people out to vote at the fucking box.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and it is crazy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's when you stand for something, you can galvanize more people as opposed to just right. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly where this is such flaccid messaging from him.
I know, dude.
To be fair, he's not running for anything, so at this point, being somebody who's a former president, I mean, unless he wants to sort of culturally lead the Democrats,
yes,
I mean,
but
he doesn't really have a responsibility.
You're right, but he's still choosing to put a message out there that he knows will be covered. But you're right. I think he's...
Yeah.
You know, he could also choose to never say anything. So he could paint veterans returning from war where we fought disgusting things for oil. And we all know it. Anyways, George W. Bush. He could just be painting fucking veteran portraits, but...
Is that what he's doing these days?
No, he at one point he did. I'm not sure. But he never really speaks out publicly. The man is a...
No, he does not.
Right.
No, he does not. He walked off into the sunset.
So he's choosing to put this out, and it's the same shit. Again, when we think about the day and age we live in, people do not want the status quo. They do not want the status quo. Yep. Me and you, I think, agree that Biden won as a status quo candidate in 2020 because COVID, and no COVID, I don't know what happens. I'm not going to make any, like, deliberate, you know, like statements on like Trump would have won, and so I just think that if you live in this age where you know people don't like the status quo and you're not selling a way to like make things better for the working person, then you have nothing. And I always say that like you've got to fight, whether it's because there's plenty of social programs out there, right? And nothing's perfect, we know that. But whether it's selling what's already out there to help people a lot better, because there's a lot of people on Medicaid and on SNAP who vote for Trump. Make that make sense. So whether it's selling the idea that we are better for like below common people, or just upping the game to Medicare for all. And of course, we've talked many times about this also comes with still being efficient and not wasting money, but doing as much as you can to return value to your average working person using the government. And just selling that, you know, I'm not going to sit here and we're just bullshitting on a random thing that nobody cares about. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have a concrete plan. But that's whatever that means. That you got to figure that out. You got to figure that out. Otherwise, you're just, well, I'm against them, but but then people are just like, well, okay, but I'm still not feeling like it's helping me in any way
Right.
or enough, because
Right.
you're never gonna. All you need is like 60%
Because I'm going
of
to
the
vote for
country.
you, and I'm just going to get more of the same if I vote for you. I mean, it won't be
Yeah,
as
man.
aggressive, and maybe your rhetoric will be a little more polite, but
They
it feels
never
like more of the same.
they always talk about the rising wave of authoritarianism, and they never really talk about like why it's happening and how to actually
Yeah.
combat it. It's just, look at this, it's bad. It's like, but you never define things. It's like, okay, if you're highbrow enough to know these words, and I'm not even trying to like be mean to people who don't know what authoritarianism is, but things move so fast, words are used. If you're not defining things and being simple with your messaging as far as like helping and why it's bad, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to be there selling authoritarianism as a way out, and unfortunately, because concentrated power can do certain things, it makes a lot of sense to people, but that's not good.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the strong man leader when there's
Right.
a moment of crisis, but it never delivers well for the average voter. Um, and it is funny to me coming from Obama because he is actually a big part of the reason why Trump won. And obviously there's the race element, which just straight up
Yeah, he has
there
nothing
is
to
a
do
chunk of the
with.
population that
Right.
that voted for Trump just purely because a black man was president.
Sure.
But there is a good chunk of overlap between two-time Obama voters and two-time Trump voters. And like
Two-time?
there is
Okay. I knew the 16 overlap was true, but go
one
ahead.
time especially, but
Yeah, no, I
definitely
agree.
two-time as well.
So it doesn't dissuade from your point. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, he's a big reason because he had a super majority.
I know.
He had a super majority. 2008, it was one of the biggest groundswells of support, like grassroots, for a candidate in a very long time. And I will forever die on the hill that Biden in his 4 years was a more progressive and populist president than Obama was in his 8. And it's because Obama played like polite politics for some reason. And all he did was just maintain status quo. And marginally, he expanded healthcare. That was it. That's not enough. That's not enough in a country where manufacturing has collapsed, where wages are getting squished either down or up, and there's nothing in between. Like, just kind of towing the status line and legalizing gay marriage is not enough to get people to come out to keep voting for you. People are hurting.
Yep. And you're right. They had a fucking 60-40. I've always known this. I've never confirmed it, but I've always, like, from things I've read over the years, they did have a 60-40 supermajority in the Senate, even.
Supermajority.
Not the 2 years. Something must have happened.
No, that's correct. In his first 2 years. But you know
what? No, it didn't even last.
It
didn't even last the first 2 years. Someone must have like resigned or something must have happened.
Flipped or something. Oh,
and then there must have been a special election early on. Yeah, because it says a brief filibuster-proof 60-40 majority in the Senate. Brief. What does that mean though? That could mean maybe it was just no. I don't know, but it was there.
What do you do with that brief window? I mean, hammer through the most important things. What are we doing?
I know they had like 200.
But instead, he was polite and he wanted to meet Republicans in the middle. Like, imagine Donald Trump with a supermajority government. Oh my God, do you think he would waste a single day just hammering through legislation? Absolutely not.
No, he already isn't, and
yeah, he doesn't pass anything.
Yeah, I just think that one of the greatest, like, one of the worst calculations made by him at that time was the idea that I need to, for visual sake, work with Republicans when you could have just hammered through an agenda that working people would have absolutely felt sooner than later and sell it. Yeah.
And you would have completely squashed the Tea Party surgeons. You know what I mean? If you actually tangibly delivered, the Tea Party would have swelled anyway because, again, a lot of that was rooted in just straight up racism. But if you actually materially provided for working class in a very profound way, that gets squashed. And I think I don't know, you pave a path for maybe another supermajority even. But it just felt like a lot of that energy got squandered on him playing polite politics. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, the Republicans are never going to play polite politics. They haven't for a long time. They've been calling everybody left of center socialists and communists since the fucking 60s. Why are we playing polite politics here?
It's dumb. If they're already calling you the thing, then it doesn't matter. Like, just do what you think will help working class people. I don't understand.
Right.
They're already calling you the thing,
Right.
and you do everything you can to, like, dude, because it's always the Amy Klobuchars of the world, and even the Kristen Gillibrands that are like, oh, I don't know about more government spending. It's like, you're thinking so, like, it's almost like you're afraid to think outside the box. Like, it's so dumb, dude. Dude, get out of politics. Dude, the amount of time I've told my spouse, get ready in the future because I'm running for office, but every time I say that, I say, I'm going to lose because you just don't win when you're as brash as I am and you're, like, throwing around the truth. People don't want to hear that shit. So I always tell her, I'm like, I'm running, but we're going to take those L's, baby. Get ready to be on that L stage. Because it's just like, you shouldn't, and I know I'm sitting on my high horse without power, so who knows if I'd abuse it or not. I think those are all fair to say about me because we don't know, but fuck you. I would tell the truth, man. I just feel like, even at the sacrifice of my seat, because it's like, it's just cowardly any other way. Cowardly. Go bold.
Agreed.
Don't be afraid. Forget about losing. Just do what you think the vision of society should be. Sell it. So dumb. All right, anyways.
And I do think, I just want to add to it, cuts a little deeper, right? Because Obama, he hasn't been outspoken in public necessarily, but he is still pulling the strings behind the scenes. And I know for a fact that Bernie in 2020, when he got crushed on Super Tuesday, Bernie had just won Nevada. Heading into Super Tuesday, and the weekend before Super Tuesday, all of the standard neo-lib Democrats dropped out and endorsed Joe Biden. And the person pulling the strings from that was Barack Obama.
There's a bunch of people. Let's not get too conspiratorial. But I do think that he is a major influence. That's not just Obama deciding. That's Obama and a bunch of of the Democratic influence behind.
Oh, he's got a lot of pull, and if he's putting his thumb on the scale, that scale's tilting.
There's a lot of people like that, though. You're not going to say that, like, somehow, even years after he's out of office, he's like 50% of the influence. That's just, who cares? Who cares about the numbers? All I'm saying is you're right.
I'm just saying it cuts a little deeper.
But it also was the whole establishment. It wasn't just Obama, and he's a part of it.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Right. Whatever the number is, he's got a big size. Whatever the number, who cares? He's got a big package.
I will.
Sorry.
I'm never. Okay.
Yeah,
God bless. 44. I will never forgive the Democrat Party for crushing the groundswell of support that Bernie had. They didn't.
I know you're still bitter about this, and that's fine.
There was no like good faith. There was no like, okay, well, let's bridge the divide and let's try and get your vote.
That's right that's right at the heart of what I'm saying. They are so afraid of actually using government and using that as a selling point, and someone who's good at using that as a selling point, that they would snuff out the flame. That's because they're dumb. Because they're dumb.
They'd rather lose to Trump again. They'd rather lose to Trump again.
They're beholden to the idea that
it's insane.
Somehow, if they take the middle of the road on every single thing, every single time, that's enough for a coalition.
Right.
But imagine being that way when inequality grows. You know what I'm saying? It's just so dumb.
When nothing's changed for 30 years. Yeah, imagine being...
And listen, I'm not even, we're out here just shouting our shouts like we always do. But, like, we're not talking about communism. I wish we were. Don't get me wrong, audience who's not there. But it's just like it's like social democracy. We've talked about this, right? You know that? There you go. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not even democratic socialism. You people are so smooth-brained. Just social... Anyways.
Right. No, it blows my mind. The Democrats just can't get out of their own fucking way.
Because
it's just
they're afraid of selling a message, which is unfortunate because it's a message that would actually work. Or who cares about what I think? You gotta sell. I think their
motivations are money.
Yeah, there's a lot of motivations here. We're getting tied up in all the different parts of this, which is true. The money sucks too. But yeah, you just gotta sell something, not be against something all the time. I need to. The selling of something is way more important You know, we talked about this many times already on this, you know, garbage show. Yeah. If they keep doing that, it's not, you know, this is how you see polls where Democrats are in the lead on the generic ballot, but then when you actually ask people directly how they're like, they suck. That's how you get that, because Trump is so bad and they bank on that shit. They're like, oh, he's burning everything to the ground, so people are going to be mad. And it's true, unfortunately. So, I live in a state where you have to be registered in that party to be in the primary, and I'll just continue to, in the primaries, just vote for the absolute Bernie Sanders hooligan every time. I will continue to do that.
Oh, man. That was John Fetterman for me. What a fall from grace.
It's sometimes tricky. Oh, boy.
What a fall from grace. I liked him a lot when he first came
me and you both. We've talked about him over the many, because he was a mayor of, I can't remember the small town in Pennsylvania. Bradford, yeah. Which is right on the border, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's right on the border. We're in his shorts.
I have a buddy
and
who's
shit.
from Bradford, actually. But he genuinely hit, like, as like a, here's a working class dude who's got his head screwed on straight, and he really wants to help people.
Right.
And
it's about the connection.
Yep.
That's what, because it's not just about selling the right thing or making sure you come up with actual solutions to sell, but you've got to sell it correctly. And like his whole aura, his personality, the way he dressed worked. It just seems like what happens to a lot of people, and he also did stroke outright, so who knows if that had an effect, but a lot of people move up the ranks, they get more power and influence, and somehow they start to really forget about the roots that they came from. The groundedness is gone, and they just turn into this. It sucks, man.
It is a fascinating thing, because you like, me sitting here right now, like if somebody gave me keys to power, in my heart of hearts, absolutely not would I ever be corrupted. But then you see it happen all the fucking time. And you're like, how is this
We've talked about this.
Would I just turn? Would I just become a piece of shit within 2 years?
Do you have any thoughts on why it happens to people? Because I do, but go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, because I got nothing.
No, we've talked about this before. I don't think ever on this.
I mean, money's
garbage,
one thing, but it feels like it's more than just money.
Money, so first of all, there's a lot of factors to anything. All right, this shit isn't black and white. Everybody here knows that.
Yeah,
we get it. But it's a lot of who you rub elbows with. Your social circle is big time, a huge effect on who you are. If you are a mayor of a small town and you're rubbing elbows still with the people that you grew up with, that's where you came from. It keeps you in a mindset. When you go big, you got to keep your elbows rubbing together with the same people. Don't let it leave. That's a lot of rubbing between people, but don't let yourself leave that mindset by just all of a sudden now you're in social circles that are way different, high value, high net worth. Because I don't even necessarily blame someone for getting into their bubble like we all do. We usually refer to the internet in that, but it happens in real life too. You got a new bubble, a circle of people, and those are the things you're listening to. Those are the things you're processing. That has such a profound effect on you. I don't blame people for getting into bubbles and wanting to be attuned with that, because that's where you are. That's fine. Just don't forget where you came from. Don't just let it sacrifice all of your values and principles that we thought were ironclad, and now they're fucking gone. I think that has a big effect. People just, all of a sudden, they're around a whole bunch of new people who have money, who have wealth in a different place, and it's corrupting in itself. Bad. You know what this is? A TED Talk to tell people to be friends with the homeless. Do it now.
No, no. Because by that same logic, I'm kidding. You know what I mean. In about 2 months' time.
Well, yeah, because whoever you surround yourself. Anyways, go ahead.
I do agree, though, that DC is full of people who are more than happy to sniff their own farts, and something about that is infectious.
Great way to put it.
I don't know why, but
great way to put it.
If you ever find yourself huffing your own farts, you need to reflect. You gotta reflect.
And it's just, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt as much as I can, because I think this is the right thing to do. Again, nobody blames you for taking some new job, if it's moving up in politics, and being inside of new groups of people. Just don't forget where you came from. Why the fuck do some of you do that? That's weird. Don't do that.
I will say, now that I'm thinking about it more, it does feel like the system, too, is designed that those who are willing to play that game do get elevated. and to
Correct.
to get elevated without playing that game feels
It's tough.
like stacked against you.
Absolutely correct.
I don't know how Bernie did it.
Because he's
But
relentless
managed
with
to-
his. Bernie is the kind of guy who has the same mentality as me. I'm just going to run. I'm going to stand on my principles, and I'm ready to take L's. It just so happens that he's really good at selling what his vision is, so he keeps winning.
Yeah.
But for every Bernie, there's 100 Bernies that tried in the past, and they didn't have the selling part of it. But they were ready to stand
Right.
on their principles and take L's, because that's the right way to be.
Yeah.
And you don't get
And Bernie
rewarded for
never-
that. You don't get rewarded for that unless you're like Bernie, which, by the way, is two parts. He can sell it well, but also he took a lot of L's early on too. He's just been grinding, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because he's never held a real job, Cyril. That's why.
You saw that thing in the New
Um,
York City, anyways.
That's been a criticism of Bernie for so long.
Yeah, well, they did it against
Which al-
Oron too. Did you see? That's what I was referencing. There was
Oh yeah, I did
New York
see
City.
that.
Yeah.
What was? Has he actually not held a
Yo,
job?
then
I
Zoran
mean, I don't
slapped
even-
him right back. It was great. Anyways,
I
go
did
ahead.
see
Go ahead. Let's not
that.
get
I
off
did
track
see
here.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like
But
a great
anyway,
guy,
so
Zoran. Yeah.
to me, Bernie, he's always on point too. He doesn't play the like petty games. He is always on his message. There's never a speech I watch where like there's 9 things I know he's going to talk about, and it's every single time
Dude,
it's there.
and keep it up, King,
Wealth
because
gap is too big.
because
we all need health
if
care.
you have a good set of principles like he is, you just make sure you have those 8, 9 things that you know are affecting society in negative ways. You can tie them back to anything, including the rise of authoritarianism. It's like you guys aren't
Sure.
delivering on the opposite side of authoritarianism enough services and value to working people, and so you will lose. And until you do that, you will lose. Universal healthcare and universal childcare to start. And if we're not there, fuck off. I'm not listening.
Yep.
That's stupid. At least those two
is,
things.
yeah.
Anybody who disagrees with those two things, like, seriously eat my whole ass. It just makes no sense. Sorry.
It's funny too, because like history is full of instances of societies going through tough times for at least the average person, and them turning to authoritarian leaders. Every single time.
I know. The slide
So if
actually.
your country is
I know.
turning, if it's turning authoritarian, maybe we should look at why people feel like that's the right answer. And it's
I'm
the
not
same
even-
shit. It,
Yeah, it's the same
It's
shit.
poverty.
And I'm not even saying
It's
what
just
I'm
poverty.
saying would work. I'm saying at least fucking make an attempt. God,
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
doing is not an attempt at all. It's horrible.
correct.
So
I do think
yeah.
too that's a big reason why Kamala lost. That's not to say she didn't, like, she did advocate for populist things like childcare.
She was
something in
nowhere
particular
close
she
to good
talked
enough.
about, but
Of course.
no, most of her messaging was I'm not Trump.
Dude, if you're not even Medicare for all, you're unserious. That's it. You're unserious.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be Medicare for all. If you're not for the single payer universal healthcare system, you are unserious. So, anyways.
And there's another stray thought of mine, and we could probably bookmark it, but notoriously she had an event where Beyonce came on stage or something to that effect.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Do you think that net helps or hurts her in that moment?
It
'Cause I
shouldn't
do-
matter. It
I think
shouldn't
it
matter.
hurts her.
It shouldn't matter. If you sell a fucking good message, it shouldn't matter. Because I have no problem with inviting. What's the problem with inviting artists? I don't give a shit about that. The bigger problem is you're selling a garbage message of I'm not him, and you got to do
Sure.
better.
Well, to me, it just kind of contributes to the whole, like, there's this elite class and you're not in it. You know what I mean? Kind
Sure,
of.
because
Like,
can
why
you
are we
see Bernie bringing on like a
Beyonce
famous
on?
artist? No. Man's going to hammer his 9 points, as you said, and dip out,
Oh,
which
boy.
I respect that. You're right. Like, there's a lot. But again, I would reiterate that I don't give a shit that she brings on the whole fucking music industry. I don't care. It has nothing to sell the right message. Sell the right
Well, to
message.
me, it just it hits in the way that like somebody who is anti-elite, quote unquote, would see Beyonce on stage and go, "Wow, she's
Dude,
part of the rich elite club, and I'm not."
And
so
in a way,
fuck her,
I
fuck
kind of
what
get
to
it
do."
because I'm not going to assume Beyonce's politics, but let's just say she probably doesn't like if more taxes were raised on her. But guess what? If you're as rich as her and Jay-Z are, you're going to have more taxes. That's it.
Sure, sure.
That's it. Like, okay.
Golly.
anyways.
So in conclusion, Democrats suck. Trump sucks.
Every
and
dollar you earn
it's over.
past
It's over. Yeah.
$999 million, 990, da, la, 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 la. That's all the government's. I don't care. Nope, I don't care. Nobody gives a shit. You don't need to make fucking... You don't need all this money. Anyways.
Yeah, but what if I get them in stock options, so it's not technically cash? How does that work?
I'm gonna fucking take it from you. I don't give a fuck. That's how we doing it. What you mean? I can do whatever I want. Anyways. All right.
It's all right. There's always a loophole, buddy. God
See,
bless.
this is when I run in the future and people clip this crap and they're like, listen to this guy, and I'm gonna be like, I stand on business. What about your business? Anyways.
That's all right. If you do run in the future, we'll nuke the whole channel. No problem.
No, dude, stand on business. Stand on business.
Stand on business.
I'm not even kidding. I'll always be fine. I'm always hustling for money. I'm not worried about it.